Hello everyone, welcome back to Nails and Sunflowers, or welcome if you're new. My name is Noemi, I am a nail tech and a music teacher, and I do nail videos and vlogs for fun. So if that sounds like something you might enjoy, then please consider subscribing. And obviously leave me all the comments you want, I'm going to be very happy with them. So for today's video, we are going to dive in my Shemax dust collector that I've had for about a month now. I am going to do a full review on how it's working for me and how I've been using it, how it's going, the maintenance that this needs pretty much daily and weekly. And I'm also going to compare it with my old dust collector, which is from Teri, the most powerful one they have. But if you're interested to know all the details of how it works, how it's going, and maybe finding out some details that you may not see in the general information of the dust collector, then stay tuned and let's dive right in. So for starters, this is the view compared to my hand. I have quite small hands. I am gonna leave the dimensions right here right now in case you want to know them, but I'm pretty sure you can find that out in any general information in any of the websites that you can buy this from. I myself bought it. If you haven't seen the video of me unboxing this, I did do it with some other nail goodies as well. That was one of my latest videos. I'm gonna link it around here for you to go check that out if you want. And yeah, for now, I've just used this. This is dirty for clients, which would be a normal day for me. Now, it hasn't been in one day, it's been in the span of 3 days because I had 2 clients, one client. But it's still the same. I haven't cleaned it just so I could show you how I clean it at the end of the day, every day. So, it's quite straightforward. This has magnets, as you can see. You can take this off quite easily. There's usually some dust here, as you can see, obviously. That's fine. And this is the filter that you should replace every month or 2 months, depends on how much you use this. If you use it every day for about 4 or 5 clients a day, then yeah, once a month. This has a price of 25 euros. And the whole dust collector, I paid 380, but because it was discounted, I think full price it's about 420 something, at least here in Spain. So as you can see, it's quite dirty, but it's very simple to clean if you do it every day. So what I do, cleaning this will really help to prolong the life of your filter and your dust collector. So I highly recommend you do this every day. I just take some of this paper, whatever it is that works for you, and I measure it on top of the dust collector. I want 4 layers of this. And now I'm going to spray some water on this, just on the top layer. We want the other ones to be quite dry. We take our filter out of the dust collector and I pretty much flip it carefully and start patting first. A lot of dust is gonna come out, it's gonna float. Be aware of that. You may want to use a mask for this. And just a bit willy-nilly. I don't need to get all the dust out of this right now because I am going to go in with a vacuum cleaner after. Yeah, this takes off quite a lot of it. There you go. And now this is still dirty, but not as much. So just flip this fold it as carefully as you can and throw it away. And now for the remaining dust on the filter and the rest of the dust collector, I go in with my vacuum. And now we just put it back on and it's clean. You can obviously clean this. I do that while I clean the rest of the table with some disinfectant and wipe. So that would be for cleaning. Now for the details of how this works. This is the view. Here we have our connector. It's pretty simple, and here we have our on-off button. That light goes on, and on the other side we have this little guy that actually controls the power. Now, air does come out of both sides when you turn this on here, and this is the suction part. So on the lowest, there you go. And if you want to hear fully how it sounds on the max and the lowest power, I'm gonna leave a clip right now of me using it with one of my clients, where I use it at max for removing product and then at the minimum to do the cuticle work. Some parts of the clip I'm gonna leave the sound on because I wasn't using the microphone as I am right now, so you can actually hear properly how loud the dust collector actually is. We are actually talking over it, and we have to talk a bit loud, but we don't have to yell, which was the problem that I have with my Teri one. It was very loud. This is tiny bit more quiet, and I really appreciate it. So here you have the clip of me using this.
Yo prefiero escondido y ya está, pero...
Si un día te llevas. Hasta de vacaciones, ¿no?
Claro, sí.
Normal.
Sí, no sé si son su primera y su segunda semana de juliol o han hecho primera o algo así. No lo sé. Tenim idea, de veritat, que encara no ha arribat molt de coses. Aquest estiu no farem a pensar. I jo diria que és aquí.
So now for the comparison between the two, my Shemax was a little bit, tiny bit cheaper. I did buy it discounted, but even if I had paid full price as of right now in Spain, the Teri one is 475 and the Shemax is 425. It's not much of a difference. So for me personally, I wanted a dust collector that was not as tall as my Teri one. My Teri one is about 11 centimeters tall and my Shemax is barely 7. So I know it seems like a little difference, but for my shoulders, let me tell you, it's quite a lot. So much so that I was finding myself moving away the Teri dust collector every time I had to do nail art or apply the gel, which meant that I was moving my dust collector on and off the table pretty much 2 to 3 times with every client, which is a bit annoying if you ask me. And also, I don't like moving these things too much because I feel like they're not meant to be moved so much, so maybe they're gonna break easier. Now, that's just me. I haven't checked this, I haven't made any. I might be very wrong. Don't quote me on that. So for the Shemax one, I am not moving it. I simply grab a bit of kitchen paper, as I showed you before, just a square, and put it on top just in case something drops, as in I drop a bit of gel or chrome powder or rubber base or even the alcohol, whatever it is that is a bit more liquid. I don't want it to get into the filter, obviously. So yeah, I just put the paper and then continue. I don't move my dust collector so much, pretty much I don't move it at all, which is much more comfortable for me. And I feel like, I know it sounds silly again, because I was about to say it saves me time. And I know it feels like it could be, I could be saving like 2 minutes a manicure, but everything counts. I feel like at some point, everything helps, you know? So those 2 minutes, I want them for myself, not to be moving my dust collector up and down the table. So that's the first pro for the Shemax. Now the second one is the noise. As you may have heard, my Teri one is very, very loud. In terms of actual numbers, I'm gonna put them here right now in the screen because I don't remember, but I do remember reading that the Shemax supposedly was quieter, and now that I've tried it in real life, I can assure you it is. Now, I don't want you to think that this is going to be super quiet and you're not even going to notice it and you're going to hear a huge difference. If I didn't tell you it was quieter, it may take you a while to realize. If you didn't read that or no one told you and you just bought the Shemax and started using it, you might not instantly think, oh, this is so much quieter. No, because it's still loud. But honestly, it's a dust collector. I wanted to do the job and I wanted to do the job well. The fact that it's a little bit quieter than the Teri one is just a plus for me at the moment. It is not one of the reasons that made me want to buy it. What actually made me want to buy it was the dimensions. As I said before, not only it's not as tall, but also it's wider. As you may have seen, my Teri one, all Teri ones are square, and this one is more rectangular. Now, in the clip where I was using it with my client, you may have seen she did not have to move her hands to the center of the dust collector every time for it to actually work properly. She had both her hands on the armrest pretty much all the time, and I didn't have to move them to the middle. They were just what they were, and it's suctioning the dust perfectly from all angles. Why? Because not only it's more rectangular, but it has 2 motors instead of one in the middle. It has one on each side, which I read before I bought it that it was supposed to be better because the power is obviously more, even though the motors are smaller or less powerful, I think. But the fact that there's 2 of them instead of one in the middle, the area that absorbs dust is bigger, so obviously it's gonna be better. It was a bit doubtful about that. I wanted to test it for myself, and now that I have, I can assure you it is. As I said, I don't have to move my client's hands to the center of the armrest and the table and the station every time I change finger or I change hands. they can just stay where they are. They can be as comfortable as they can be on my armrest, and they don't have to be moving around, which is very nice for them and very nice for me and for my back. I don't have to go into all these weird positions trying to get their hands where I want them to be, and I don't have to be pulling their hands towards me or towards the center all the time, pretty much. So now that was the second reason, and now for the third, it's because I wanted to have, as I said, I don't like moving these things too much, and every time I had a pedicure, I had to move my Teri dust collector to the pedicure station and attach it to the footrest, and then back here when I had manicures. Pedicure season is coming, it's April, the sun is shining, I'm having a lot more pedicures already than I did a month ago, and I was finding myself just having to move this too much, and I was afraid that it was just gonna break or start failing, and I really didn't want to have to buy another Teri one because I knew that it's not the best for me and I wanted to change brands, hence why Shemax. Now, I pretty much went for Shemax and not any other because for me it's the second most common and used brand that I see here in Spain. Nail techs use, professionals. Besides probably... No, that's it. I was gonna say... Yeah, because any other that I've seen, it's been online and it's usually in the USA or Canada. And it's usually Melody Susie. I've heard a lot of good things about that. Kiara Sky. I wish I could get my hands on those. It's not gonna happen. It was hard before to buy products from North America, from the USA, and from Canada. I can't even tell you, but right now it's even worse, as you may know. So I'm not even gonna try, because in the past I've had a lot of troubles for them to arrive to me, to pay taxes, obviously, and everything. So much so that at some point I paid more for taxes than for the actual products that I was buying. And it was not a cheap amount. I mean, I was not trying to buy 20 euros or $20 worth of products and I ended up paying 30 in taxes. No, I'm talking about hundreds. So I don't want that to be repeated. I'm sorry. I really wish this was simpler and I wish I could give you more input about more brands that are just on trend at the moment and have been on trend for a while. But it's just hard, and honestly, I don't know. It's not gonna happen for now. Let's hope things change, huh? So, I also tried Shemax at one of my recent nail courses that I went in Barcelona. The teacher had a Teri under the table dust collectors, and then one Shemax, I think exactly like the one I bought or the model before that. I loved both. I especially like the Teri under the table, and I did briefly consider if I should even get the Shemax under the table dust collector, but honestly I don't want to have to go through the whole hassle of having to open up like the hole on my table, and also I feel like it restricts me from actually moving this somewhere someday. I know I said I don't want to move this too much, but I think you know what I mean. If I need to move it, I feel like it's going to be easier if it's not attached to the table. I might be wrong, and this might be completely just personal preference, but honestly, it was also more expensive, both Teri and Shemax, and I think I remember the power was less than the one that I got. Same for Teri. They worked wonders at the nail course, but I did notice that they were less powerful than the one I have. So because I wanted to go for something better for my lungs, for everything, I ended up not choosing the under the table one, but I did briefly consider. One thing I'm also gonna point out, but it shouldn't really matter much if you're gonna leave it at the table and work from there, this is much lighter in weight than the Teri one. I don't know the exact numbers, but I know that to my feeling when I grab it to clean the table underneath, it is much lighter. In terms of outside cleaning, it's pretty much the same. It's pretty much plastic like Teri, and then it has the magnet and the metal part that you can also clean. And as I showed you, I cleaned the filter. I also cleaned my Teri one. Nothing changes with that. I do that daily, and then I don't think I mentioned, but weekly I do rinse this with water and try to get rid of every single drop of dust that's in there, only if I have 2 days off at the end of the week, because this needs about 24 hours to dry completely, and you cannot and should not use this while it's still wet. It needs to be completely dry, both for Teri and Shemax. It's the same, it's just a HEPA filter. You need this to be completely dry. As I said while I was cleaning it daily and weekly will really elongate the life of your dust collector, and especially the filter. For the Teri one, the filters were 15 euros, and for the Shemax, they are 25. So if you want to save money in the long run with the filters, like you're not a fan of having to pay more for those things, even though the dust collector is slightly cheaper for the Shemax, keep that in mind and maybe don't go for the Shemax, because I do feel like it's a big difference. 15 to 25, it's quite a lot. And I don't think it would have to do with the dimensions of the filters, because I think one is just square and the other is rectangular, but I don't think there's one bigger than the other. And if there was, I would actually say the Teri one is bigger, and it's definitely wider, taller, as I would say. So all in all, for me, if you have reduced space in your manicure table, or if you don't mind having that height on the middle, that let's say, of your manicure area, or if you're used to working with Teri and you want to save up some money with the filters that you have to buy monthly or bi-monthly, then I would highly suggest you get the Teri one. It is powerful, it is gonna work for you. It's never given me any problems whatsoever, except one time that the cable connection broke and I had to change the cable itself. That's it. For the rest, as I said, it works wonders. The suction is really good, and there's no dust going all over the table like there would be when I was using, I don't know, at the beginning of my nail tech career, an Amazon dust collector. Now, if you want something that is wider and more rectangular, and you actually care more about not having to move it so much, you don't want the height, because like me, you're short and you are trying to not have your shoulders like that all the time, and you want something as powerful as Teri, because I would say it's just as powerful, then I would buy the Shemax. Just keep in mind that filters are going to be a bit more expensive, but it is, at least for me, as I said, I'm short, a lot more comfortable. And the suction area is wider, so it is more comfortable, I think, for the clients as well. That's personal opinion. So there you go. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and it was helpful for you in any way, shape, or form. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave a comment down below, and I will read it and respond as soon as possible. And I will see you on the next one. Bye! Oh my god. Really? I don't have the information. Is this shit?